How are you feeling?
It just feels very surreal, I think, to be here, to see the arch, to be at the lodge. I don't know about you, but I have this thing where I think if I speak about things too much or think about things too much, I'm convinced I've like jinxed it and it's not going to happen. But I think I'm trying to avoid that mindset now. So I think the only thing you can think is that we're here, we're going to do this, we're going to start, and I don't know, we'll just see how it goes.
And what kind of things are you most excited about?
I think in the short term, I'm like excited to meet people. I'm excited to see the towns that we go through. I think in the long term, again, fingers crossed. I shouldn't be thinking about it this way, but fingers crossed. I'm excited to get to New England. I've never been north of Connecticut or Boston, so I'm excited to see New Hampshire, Vermont, Maine, all that stuff. Yeah.
Are there any things that you that make you nervous about the trip?
Oh God. I think just the possibility of any injury. I think not knowing when to listen to my body. Like I know I've heard a lot of people say that like certain pains they just start to push through and then they don't become a problem anymore, and I'm worried that I'll like hyperfixate on specific pains and aches that I'm feeling and not realize that I can just push through it and it'll be fine, or vice versa. I don't know. I'm nervous about, here's the thing. As someone who menstruates, I am nervous about dealing with my period in the woods. I'll be honest, I'm on my period today, and it's not great. So we'll see how I deal. I don't know. I think it's a nervous excitement overall. Again, I'm excited to meet new people. I'm nervous to meet new people, and we'll just see. I don't know. I haven't watched too many vlogs recently, especially. So I really don't know what's coming up. I really don't know what to expect, but yeah, we'll see. All right, so this is us setting off. So we're at mile 1 of the approach trail. Springer Mountain, which is the official start of the AT, is at mile, is it 8.8?
Yeah.
And that's where we'll be hoping to sleep tonight, is at Springer Mountain Shelter. So we've got about 7.8 miles to hike to that point.
It's all uphill.
All uphill, but it's currently 8 o'clock, so hopefully that gives us plenty of time to get there, get settled and everything. So yeah, wish us luck. try not to blind you. So that's the end of day one. It's currently 6:30, and we made it to our shelter at 2 o'clock. But we've just been hanging out since then. We could have pushed more miles, but I didn't really want to take it too hard on the first day. So today we finished the approach trail, got to the official start point of the Appalachian Trail on the top of Springer Mountain, and now we are at Springer Mountain Shelter, so just 0.2 miles after the start point. But I'm pretty happy with what we've done today. The approach trail was difficult at times, I guess. It was a lot of up and down, but there were a lot of flat parts and downhill parts to make up for the really steep ascent. But otherwise, yeah, I think it was a really good first day. The weather was really kind to us, and we didn't really run into any problems or anything. So yeah, I think this is as good of a first day as we could have hoped for. We're the only ones at the shelter. We had somebody stop by before, but they decided not to stick around. So at the moment, no friends have been made, but we'll see how it goes. It's only day one after all. What else? I'm still having trouble with my menstrual cup and dealing with all that. So that's a super fun part about hiking as a woman, I guess. But it is what it is. We'll see how it goes tomorrow. I think tomorrow we are going to make our way to another shelter about 8 miles from here. So we're just really going at our own pace. Not really trying to rush anything. There's plenty of time for big mile days, but now is not one of them. So yeah, it was, I think, a great first day. We'll see how the rest of the week goes. There are storms forecasted, so I think we're mentally preparing for those, but at least for now, I'm pretty happy with how we've started. So I'll see you along the trail. Good morning. It is just past 8 o'clock in the morning on day 2 of the trail. I think I slept pretty well last night. There was some breeze coming in and out of the shelter, but nothing too bad. And I was very warm, so that's good. How did you sleep?
Good, not bad. My face was a little cold, but the rest of me was nice and toasty.
That's good. Alright, so as you may or may not be able to see, it's drizzling a little bit, but nothing too bad. I think the aim of today is to do 8 miles to Hawk Mountain Shelter with a break around 5 miles in. So yeah, let's see how we do. It is 8:20 and we've just set out from the shelter, and it is day 3 on trail. Sorry, I'm a little out of breath. I would say last night was good. We got to the shelter with plenty of time. We got there at 1 o'clock, which is way early. But it was good because it was still raining on and off, and it just gave us plenty of time to chill out. So the reason we haven't pitched our tents yet, really. So there are campsites up and down the trail. There are camping spots next to the shelters. But I don't know, I think the first night was just the novelty of using the shelter. And then last night, because of the rain, and tonight as well because of the rain, I think the last thing we want to do is have to pitch our tent in the rain, put it away wet, all that stuff. So that's why we've been using shelters so far. And I don't know, I like them. They're a good little social hub. We got to meet some people last night, and it looks like we're all going to be walking at roughly the same pace, so we'll probably be bumping into them quite frequently. What else has happened? Oh, I almost twisted my ankle yesterday. I was just walking on the path. There was a rock that I didn't see, and my ankle did a big wobble. But that's why you do your ankle strengthening exercises, so that you can just keep going. So I was fine, and lesson learned. I need to pay a little bit more attention. The other panic that I had this morning was that I thought I lost my wallet, which would have been, I don't even know how I could logistically fix that, because I had my ID in there, my cards, cash, all that stuff. But yeah, I've learned that my pockets are deeper than I thought, so you just gotta keep looking. So catastrophe avoided there. So today we are aiming for 7.7 miles. We're trying to get to Gooch Gap Shelter. So we're at mile 8.1, and it is 7.7 miles ahead of us. We would like to do it in good time because it's meant to start really raining at around 2 p.m. So if we could beat that, that would be great, because it's meant to start raining from 2 until about 10, 11 at night. So we definitely don't want to be pitching our tents in that. So yeah, we'll see how we get on. See you later. Good morning. It is day 4 of hiking. Last night, or yesterday, we managed to get into camp at 1 o'clock, which was perfect timing for the rain and the thunder that came. But it actually cleared up after a few hours. It didn't stick around for as long as it said it was going to. It was a pretty full shelter last night. I think there was about 10 of us and a little dog. So that was nice, getting to chat with people. We met Chelsea, our first ridge runner. And a ridge runner is just an educator that goes up and down sections of the trail during the busy periods. I think she said from about February to April. She just talks to people on trail, helps with trail maintenance, all that stuff. And I want to be her when I grow up. So yeah, that was nice. I didn't want to record anything or shove any cameras in people's faces or anything. But yeah, we all had a nice evening. I think everyone pretty much went to bed at 7 o'clock. And it was an absolutely freezing night last night. I think it got well below freezing temperatures. I slept with my electronics bag. I slept with my water filter so it didn't freeze. I wouldn't say I was cold. I wasn't shivering or anything. I was just not the most comfortable. I did have to get up at one point to pee, and that was miserable because it was so cold. I also think I'm just not very good at sleeping on my back. So if anybody has any tips on how to do that, that would be great, because it took me hours and hours and hours to fall asleep. So, or maybe I just need to do more miles. It'll be easier. So in terms of today, we were going to do another 8-mile day, but looking ahead to tomorrow, where there's supposed to be quite a lot of rain and a really big climb, we would rather make that day a little easier on ourselves. So I think we're aiming to do 12 miles today, so that tomorrow can be a little bit of an easier day and we can resupply our stuff as well. So yeah, we'll see how we get on, whether we make good time today, and we'll catch you later. Good morning. It is currently day 5. It is 5:15 in the morning, and we woke up at 4:30. The idea with today is that we have a super big climb ahead of us at Blood Mountain, and it's supposed to start absolutely raining loads at around 8 o'clock. But I don't know, the time keeps changing, the time keeps moving. So everyone who was at camp, or at the shelter last night, we all decided we would get up super early to try to beat the rain. It hasn't really worked because it is actively raining right now, but I think it's supposed to be even worse later on. So fingers crossed we can at least summit the mountain before the heavy rain starts. And then from there, we actually don't have very far to go. We have about 2.5 miles, 3 miles to get to Neal's Gap, which is where we are resupplying. And hopefully we'll be able to find a hostel for the night. Not sure, but we'll at least be somewhere inside, nice and warm for a bit. So yeah, that's the plan. Wish us luck.
Got a guest.
Oh my goodness. Oh, he's so warm. I know. Hi, Orange Candy. Oh, okay. Alright, so we made it. Not without difficulties. Yeah, so we started our hike 5:15. Maybe a third of the way up the mountain, my headlamp died. So I had to use my phone that was on 30% battery to try to get us, or try to get myself the rest of the way before, and hoping that it would last until sunrise. Yeah, I would say the ascent wasn't that hard. I think it was made easier by the fact that you couldn't see anything around you. You were literally just focusing on like the first few steps ahead of you. So I was actually surprised when we got to the summit, because I didn't expect it to happen when it did. So we summited about 6:30, and then as soon as we summited, it just started raining, and the descent, I think, was worse than the summit for us. Okay, so where was I? So we were descending down the mountain as it was raining, and that was absolutely terrible. I think if you imagine like sheets of rock going down, that's what we had to descend. And with the rain, it just meant that it was so slippery. I kept slipping, you kept slipping.
Yeah.
It was still like twilight, so like the sun hadn't fully risen, so you couldn't really see the blazes that well. But eventually we made it. We got here 8:15, and we managed to get a spot at the hostel, so now we're just hanging out. We have to hang out until 2 p.m. And then our room will be ready. So don't know what we're gonna do until then, but yeah, I'm just glad to be here. I'm just glad at the possibility of a shower. Is he still there?
Yeah.
And yeah, isn't this where they say like 20% of people quit?
Yeah. I mean, the evidence is out there, isn't it?
Yeah, so there's a tree right outside with a bunch of shoes on it, and it's meant to be that people who quit their thru hike at this point throw their shoes up on the tree. But we're still here. We're still chugging along, so we'll see where we are tomorrow. I think the weather's supposed to be better, so I think we're just gonna get a relaxing day here, and then see where tomorrow brings us.